Goedemorgen, good morning. Original Innocence from Traktung, Rimpoche. Let's see what more he has to say. Interlude. Here's a quote from the Tao Te Ching. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the origin of heaven and earth. Okay. And then he continues, it must be remembered that we are talking about a mystery beyond all words, time, space, place, locations, self, others, and objects. Although words might be subtly able to point in the direction of this truth, no word or concept can actually describe it. This is the truth of all utterances of realizers from any and all traditions. Words can describe what unenlightenment is, or how the path is practiced, or, if they speak of truth and reality, they can be poetic utterances. They are the poetry of happiness. The outrageous happiness of the realizer makes use of language and stretches it like salt water taffy in an attempt to twist it into the form and meanings of the most subtle of the subtlemost. It is important to remember that the words are a method and are not truth in and of themselves. They point, solicit, cajole, incite, provoke, seduce, finagle, and draw forth innate wisdom. But being able to parrot them is not the point. Parroting actually creates greater obstacles because we believe that our words are the truth, and then we have less interest in discovering and living this truth. For a person with genuine longing, second-hand truth will never suffice. The poetry that arises from a being who is swooned in reality can take the form of words, actions, song, music, dance, silence, sitting, doing nothing, working in the garden. Its forms are endless. When the sage's mind goes where no mind goes, conceptuality dissolves like mist in the sun, leaving behind only identityless mind as radiance in the body. Then body is compelled to express reality and truth, godliness and divinity in everything it does. This expression always falls short of perfect, for the perfect expression is, of course, the sum total of all appearing, past, present, and future. Communication is always, in one sense, an interruption in this perfect communion of stillness and silence. But at the same time, words, dance, work, and song, whatever arises spontaneously, is the perfect symbolic presentation of luminously joyful wisdom expanse. Perhaps each poetic utterance is in fact the summation of all appearing, past, present, and future. Wisdom speech is mysterious, for it issues forth from Dharmakaya's perfect mystery. Dharmakaya is your own nature, your own true nature. It is luminous, for it is the nature of awareness as symbolic ebullience. I think ebullience means enthusiasm. It is powerful. It is potent siddhi, for it is compassion manifest. So words arise from great silence and stretch the very fabric of language. They twist and turn and almost tear language to divulge wonderment. All Dharma is the poetic of wisdom, a song of joy shimmering in an empty space of timeless time. Timeless time, that womb space of all time, where bright virtue surges like the tidal forces in the ocean of original innocence. I read that line again. Timeless time, that womb space of all time, where bright virtue surges like the tidal forces in the ocean of original innocence. Then I think a poem of Traktung. It's called This World Is. This world is how love clothes itself. Mystery is love undressed. Silence reveals, song adorns. Lovers understand the strategies of love's playfulness. They enumerate them. February 1. February's taciturn secrets, its clandestine stirrings. 2. The mechanic's enjoyment of what is under the hood. 3. Nighttime's seduction of twilight. 4. Too many to list. 5. Empty. Nothing there. Love brings the understanding of nuance, how there is mystery and expanse. The emptiness at the center of the bead, how the necklace adorns, but it is the emptiness that makes this possible. Experience is the clothing of expanse, the mystery that wears it. Love, clothed in world, undresses for expanse in the twilight of doing, in the bedroom of unmaking. The lover moves beyond, behind, within. Like a bead, we are empty at the center, an expanse, a place for sunlight. Like the flower, we are drunk on sunlight. This emptiness, this love, before and without, I or you, this is how we live. A walk while writing. Walking through the fields, frost-covered grasses, 7 p.m. Mind was silent. Eyes drank in the delicate crystalline structures and the dance of twilight over brown and white. I speak to the grasses. Tell me of your love affair with sunlight. And they answer, look to the hollowness of our stem, how we bend in the wind, to the fearlessness of our dying each fall, and the divinity of our resurrection in spring. Hand reaches out, fingers touch frost and stem. Cold invites, sunlight invokes. Body moves with ease through thickets of brambles, small trees, and tall grass. The brain's insistence on concept was gone, and yet the dialogue with nature continued in of as silence. The senses, movement, dimensionality, all tremendously alive, and yet devoid of the reflexivity called sense of self. When mind, discovering how to remain silent, stretches across appearance, benediction suffuses perception with tender-hearted delicacy. This discovery brings with it that fullness sought after in all seeking, whether it is called worldly or religious. Seeking, with its imagined destinations, projections, hopes, and fears, can never know this delicacy of living wonder, and yet, without disciplining the mechanisms of attention and concept, there also will be no discovery. There also will be no discovery, for conceptuality's habit will shape mind and feeling. There is brutality in the insistence of conceptuality's habits, its unrelenting pace and diminishment of joy. And this brutality is felt in the structures of modern life. There is also a great potential sensitivity in the brain's mechanism, a possible subtlety, and the workings of organic and sacred intelligence. The chaos of a mind which aggressively seeks ever more wealth, pleasure, power, status, and recognition will never find the ease and joy for which it seeks. Dark was falling over grass and bramble. The seriousness of twilight was becoming mystery of night. A profundity beyond any possibility of measurement filled space, was space. The deer across the thicket felt it too. Being's eyes in being his eyes in human and deer met, and there was only seeing, silence, stillness. Neither form wished to move in the perfect fullness of relatedness. Singleness and multiplicity met in that gaze, and what was shared, the secrets which passed unspoken, were beyond the numbers one or two, beyond the notions virtue or evil, beyond the touch of time and space. The nature of mind. Opening statement. This is a quote from Tilopa. The ignorant do not know that oil is the essence of the sesame seed. Likewise, not knowing the branches of interdependence, they cannot extract their essence. Just so the co-emergent wisdom resides in the heart of all sentient beings, yet it cannot be realized unless it is pointed out by a lama, a teacher. Pounding the shell of a sesame releases its essence. Likewise, the meaning of suchness is revealed by the Lama's instructions. Transformed into one nature is the inseparability of all objects. How marvelous, how wonderful it is to see clearly in this moment the deep meaning for which others journey far. There is no need for the antidote wisdom. There is no path or stage to traverse. There is no goal to achieve. From Tilopa. Vast, unimpeded lucid clarity. This unadulterated, unfabricated, unconstructed suchness is the simple fact of what is. It is known by mind and body when confused conceptual elaborations cease. Then body and mind rest within that, rest within vastness and nothingness. A sudden loss, the unmaking and undoing of all doings, the undoing of the urge to be, to do, the urge of identity. This is the great, deep samadhi of suchness, untouchable by any word. It is the great death while still alive that gives birth to life abundant. Here a literal death of identity takes place. There is only mystery, untouched by the idea is or is not. A perfect rest giving birth to a billion suns. Suddenly, the lucidity and clarity inherent within the expanse. For the expanse is not a mere nothingness, but a luminous vastness, erupts from, in, as, of, expanse. The eyes of awareness open and perceive the clear light that had been obscured by the preoccupied fixations of confusion. This clear light is most inexplicable. It shares in the essence's impossibility of words. It is perceived, and yet it is the perceiver, and yet there is zero notion, concept, feeling of a perceiver or of an identity. What a mystery! And that spontaneously recognizes still, calm, empty vastness, lucid clarity suffusing, pervading, not two, and spontaneous self-elaborating presencing becomes all appearances. Auto, auto commentary. Auto commentary. This opening statement is a description of the four yogas of our Dzogchen lineage: calm abiding, bright vision, non-duality, spontaneity. These are stages of depth that the yogi passes through in the process of realizing the essence, nature, and energy of awareness. There is one, the vast empty purity of space, wherein there is perfect silence and an absence of any conceptual elaboration, thinking, or structuring. Two, while rested deeply in vast empty purity of space, there is a sudden leaping forth of the inherent clear light luminosity that pervades, expands. 3. Gnostic self-cognizing, unborn wisdom. So, Gnostic self-cognizing, unborn wisdom awareness spontaneously perceives the non-duality of expanse and luminosity. I'm going to read it again. Number 3. Gnostic self-cognizing unborn wisdom awareness spontaneously perceives the non-duality of expanse and luminosity. And 4. Appearing and all seeming appearances are known as the spontaneously self-presencing of empty luminous expanse, wherein all of this is known as mind's wholeness. Mind as it is used here does not refer to the individual mind with its titchy, small identity complex. What is referred to as mind is the wholeness of mind, its essence, nature, and energy. It is said that the nature of mind is fundamentally made up of two aspects: kadak, primordial purity, and lundrup, spontaneous presencing. Kadak is the primordial purity aspect. Lundrup is spontaneous presencing. By kadak we mean that mind itself, in its own mostness, is primordially pure awareness, the union of emptiness and clarity. This means that if we look at mind, we will not find anything at all, and exactly this not finding is the primordially pure essence of mind. It is kadak. The very fact of mind's emptiness, that it has no origin, no place where it abides, no place where it resolves, is purity. This is a subtle point one must relax into through meditation upon the essence. At the same time that we do not find anything at all, or anywhere that the mind is, we discover that something is presencing. From that pure emptiness, there is a self-glow, a radiance, a presencing, becoming present as in activity or a verb. In fact, in authentic Dzogchen view, communicating becomes all verbs. All appearance is the self-presencing activity of unborn wisdom awareness. So all appearance is the self-presencing activity of unborn wisdom awareness. It is like rays of light shone through a crystal, making rainbows on the wall. There is a song prayer of Guru Rimpoche which sums up this view. All appearance, seen through the eyes, the universe and all its beings, I see, but do not take as real. I see, but remain at ease and resting. Dualism purified is luminous empty form appearing. Self-liberating desire, anger, precious Lama, to you I pray. Every sound heard through the ears, whether pleasant or unpleasant, I hear as sound and emptiness, free from thought's elaboration. Empty sound, beginningless, endless is the speech of all the Buddhas. Self-liberating empty sounds, precious Lama, I pray to you. Lotus-born master of Odhiyana, Pema Yungne, to you I pray. Whatever thoughts move in my mind, even poisonous emotions, unaltered by anticipation, unaltered by thoughts retracing, settling naturally in its own place. Mind is free within the stainless, self-liberating pure awareness. Precious Lama, to you I pray. Lotus-born master of Odhiyana, Pema Yungne, to you I pray, to you I pray. What seems to be outer, the objects to be grasped, is pure. What seems to be inner, the mind that fixates, is empty. What seems to lie between is luminous. May I recognize it. Joyful Buddhas of three times, look to me with compassion. Bless beings such as me with liberation. So in a table, it is awareness tabling, and in a duck, it is awareness duckling, and in a human being, it is awareness humaning. There is a single ground of primordial awareness. Primordial awareness is like gold that can be fashioned into many items, but will always remain gold. The essence of awareness is pervaded by its luminous nature, and the union of the two, and the union of the two of these is constantly birthing appearances, like waves rising and falling on the ocean's surface. If we look into mind during meditation, we will only find emptiness. If we rest in this emptiness, free from all conceptual elaboration, we discover a spontaneous, luminous pervasion. If one remains with this luminosity, one will understand appearing and appearances as the play of luminosity within the unimpeded expanse. And if one looks at the unimpeded purity of emptiness, one will suddenly and spontaneously find the presencing of luminosity. Over time, when we train mind in this fashion, appearances, instead of seeming to imply separation, duality, birth and death, will only point out playful presencing and all appearances as waves rising and falling. This understanding is the realization of the nature of mind. The nature of mind is not a thing. It is the dynamic interaction between spontaneous presencing and primordial purity. In Tantra and Dzogchen, we call primordial purity the all-good mother, Kuntuzangmo. The radiance of awareness within the expanse of the mother is the all-good father, Kuntuzangpo. The two of these in perfect union are the nature of mind. One of the many reasons for this symbolic presentation as all good father and all good mother is that it brings home the point that this is not an abstract concept. It is about us in our humanness, right here, right now. In Mahayana, this perfect union is called Sujata Garbha or Tathaga Garbha. In Vajrayana, it is called Buddha nature. In Dzogchen, it is referred to as the nature of mind and the nature of awareness. These are all the same thing. If we speak in Tantric lingo, we have Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. In Dzogchen lingo, we say the essence, nature, and energy, or the nature of mind. In symbolic language, there is Kuntuzangmo and Kuntuzangpo and their luminous child, the magical nature of appearing. Why, according to Dzogchen, do deluded appearances arise? They arise because mind is unimpeded. It is the unimpeded union of emptiness and clarity which gives rise to appearances. The nature of mind is purely creative. Its creative thrust is beyond notions of good or bad. From the point of view of the moon is always full. From the point of view of Kuntuzangpo, appearances are always wisdom. Because mind is unimpeded, anything and everything can arise and does arise. From the one ground of wisdom awareness, there arise two possible paths and results. This one ground, the union of emptiness and clarity, has two possible vectors. At the moment when its luminous nature surges forth within, from, as, of the empty expanse, and that is every moment, there are two possibilities. With the first vector, there is awareness and luminous appearing known as the play of light, intersecting, cavorting, and frolicking. If the awareness aspect knows that the appearing aspects are nothing other than its own play, its own potency, its own energy, then there is natural delight. But the second vector is also a possibility in each moment. If the knowingness aspect mistakes itself for a subjective entity and mistakes the frolic of light for objective entities, it immediately becomes trapped in a ceaseless confusion of its own making, like a dream character trapped within a dream. So, one ground, primordial awareness, can lead to two paths. One that results in understanding about the actual nature of things and appearances, and the other resulting in confusion and a mistaken view of appearances. The two results are the joy and freedom of unborn and undying wisdom awareness, overflowing display of bliss. Okay, one more time. The two The two results are the joy and freedom of unborn and undying wisdom awareness's overflowing display of bliss, and the sense of being trapped in bodies and realms, worlds, being, becoming, objects, relations, and things. I think Traktung said quite a bit here. So have a great day and a good meditation. And then I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.